Hey, everybody, welcome to the first episode of the Hope Connection, the podcast of Sandhills Adult and Teen Challenge. I'm your host, Pastor Steve, along with my co host, Russ Cambria, our CEO. And this show is about real hope for real people. And each week we'll tackle questions from families and loved ones that are asking questions about what we do here. And we're going to share some powerful stories, a transformation, and we'll host special guests and we'll point to the life-changing power of Jesus Christ. Amen. So in today's first episode, we're answering the questions parents often ask when their loved ones come to Adult and Teen Challenge. What happens at Teen Challenge when I drop my loved one off, my son or daughter, or what can I expect for my son or daughter? If that's some of the questions that you've been asking, then you're in the right place today. So let's jump in. I have a list of questions here on my iPad. We're going to start right here at the top. Russ, I don't know if you can see that or not, but
Gotcha. Yep.
we'll put it like that right there. So one of the questions is that people ask is, how often will I be able to talk or see my loved one while they're in the program? Russ, you want to answer that one?
I'd say that's up to the student.
To me?
Well, the student,
Yeah.
how they do. So with this question, there is an answer in our student handbook, but we also have to take into consideration whether or not visits and communication with family outside of the program is healthy. So even though a student might earn a visit or earn a phone call just because they were in the program for a certain amount of time, doesn't necessarily mean they might be in the right headspace to
Right.
talk to family. And, we have to remind the student when he's in, like, hey, listen, your loved ones have been putting up with a lot from you
Right.
for a long time. So really, this is a break for them as well. So the first 30 days, we have what we call blackout period. That means they don't communicate to anyone outside of the program. And that's really parents, wives, and now that we have a women's center, husbands, that's for you. You need 30 days where you don't have to worry about them. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to defend yourself. Let us deal with them. So I would say after that, you go by the prescribed program guidelines based on how long they've been there. But again, if we were to deny a phone call, trust us.
Yeah.
There's a reason for it, and we're looking out for your best interest, and we're looking out for the best interest of the student.
Yeah, amen. Isn't it always amazing how students come and a 2-week blackout period for a phone call is like literally just going to end their world?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they'll go 2 weeks without talking to the family or the kids.
Right, exactly.
14 challenge.
Yeah, just an interesting note there for parents.
That was free.
Yeah, that was free. You're welcome. This is a big question right here that I get asked all the time. We get asked all the time is what to expect on my first phone call with your loved one. Amen. Yeah. I'm going to answer this one. And the rest you can jump in when you want.
I want to hear your answer.
One of the things that you're going to hear, they're going to, some may try to coerce you that this place, we're a cult, we're this and that, whatever it is.
The food, we're poisoning them.
The food is terrible. The water is going to kill them. All this stuff. You'll hear these things from your loved one when they come on their first call. So when you hear that type of stuff, just know that we already told you that's going to happen. Been happening for 30 some years at Adult and Teen Challenge. So they'll say things like that. And then depending on their headspace and where they're at, this is a tremendous undertaking that your loved one is taking on to become a student here at Adult and Teen Challenge.
That's right.
And making a choice to change their life. And so when I make a life choice like that, there's some repercussions that come with that. And so I've been out there running the streets and doing whatever I've been doing because of drugs. And now I have to stop, slow down, and learn how to be successful in making daily decisions. Amen. And so that's everything comes down to decision making.
Yeah, that's right.
And so we speak a lot about making decisions here at Adult and Teen Challenge. So that's one of the things, a couple of things that you're going to hear. They're going to say, hey, they're brainwashing me here. And you know what? They will be correct. And so your brain needs to be washed. Your whole insides need to be washed. And so because you've been living the way you've been living, you've been getting, my mother used to say this to me, if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. And so we're trying to teach guys to walk in integrity, to be able to walk successfully as a man or a woman of God, husbands, wives, being productive members at your church, being a good son, being a good daughter. All those things are important to us that come along with what we teach here. And so you'll hear those type of things from our students. And then as your telephone calls progress and they stay in the program, then you'll begin to hear the change. I know, Rush, you often talk about with SoberPeer, with our computer system, how it uses facial recognition. And then after a guy's been or a girl has been here a couple months or so, their facial their face changes. And so the facial recognition doesn't recognize them any longer. We have to take a new picture. I could preach a message on that.
No, that's good. That's good. I'd say too, just to kind of add to what you were saying, what to expect on your first phone call, manipulation. That's going to be there. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're trying to manipulate whoever they're speaking to, but that's just been part of their game for so long. So promises made, hey, just I get it. I don't need to be here. This is a really long program. All I need is 30 days and I'll come home. I'll be the dad that you need me to be. I'll be the husband. And so expect that. They're going to say that. And we want to inform you and equip you to know what to expect so that when you hear it, you could say, man, I remember those two dudes on that podcast said he was going to say exactly that, or she was going to say that. And, just let them talk and just encourage them. Make no promises to them back. Say, listen, I understand this is hard, but we're behind you and we want you to complete this thing. Always talk about, we want you to complete. We want you to finish this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most of the time, Steve, they haven't finished anything. Yeah. This is going to be the first time.
We want to make this the first time that you finish something. When I start making into my daily habits of finishing things that I start, it carries over into the rest.
It becomes a habit.
Yeah, it becomes a habit.
That's right.
It becomes a habit. And then now when I'm a man of my word, so when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking to. And so you can never quit your way to success. You just can't. And so even in my daily activities and the things that I do, I have to finish what I started. That's right. That's one of the reasons why we had this podcast this morning. Hey, man, we've been talking about it for a long time, and I was tired of it. And I said, I'm just going to start it with my iPhone this morning.
Ghetto style.
Ghetto style. That's how we do it. Yep. And so Russ came to help me with that. Man, thanks, Russ. That's good right there. Also, one of the things people ask, what does a typical day look like for them at Sandhills Adult and Teen Challenge?
We're still trying to figure that out. We've been serving for over 20 years apiece.
Yeah.
So, good question. You want to tackle that one there, Mr. COO? He's some of their days start at 5 a.m. The newer guys in the 30-day program in the first phase, they start at 6 a.m. And so a typical day, you wake up, there's about 30 minutes to get ready, make your beds, clean up your rooms, get ready for breakfast. We have a medical call for those that have medications, things like that. And then we have breakfast, 6:45 to 7:30. 7:30 to 8 is prayer time. And that is a very, very important time during our day. We want to teach guys how to start their day off by praying before they start it. Amen. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm still here, to be honest with you, is because that discipline has been ingrained in me because I'm a graduate of the program also, too. So it's a very important time between 7:30 and 8. And many times guys will say to me, they say, hey, Pastor, man, I was praying this morning. I prayed like 3 minutes. And then they were done.
Yeah, and I was done, and I didn't know. And you know what? And I encouraged them, hey, 3 minutes is better than no minutes.
Yeah.
And so 3 minutes will end up turning into 6. 6 minutes will end up turning into 12 and so on. And so, but it's a daily habit that we want to get into our guys and our girls to start your day off with prayer. I never started my day off with prayer before Teen Challenge, before coming into the program, before Christ. I never did that. And I ended up all kinds of places I shouldn't have been. And so had I been starting my days off with praying, they work out a lot better for me now. Amen. I come home at night. My wife ain't looking for me. My mom's happy. She's getting plenty of sleep. Some of her gray hairs went away.
That's right. just taking that 30 minutes, whether they're praying for 30 minutes, which, that can be difficult. Let's be real. Let's be honest. That's tough, especially if you're coming in and you don't have a history of praying like that. A lot of people in church don't do that,
Yeah.
but what we're trying to do is prioritize that half hour early in the morning before anything else happens. You want to devote that to, number one, communicating with God. Sometimes that translates after the program. They'll get up early and they'll read a devotion. Well, that's good. You're in the Word. You're reading a devotion. You're centering yourself. You're getting your priorities straight. So really, what we're trying to do is not necessarily about what they're doing specifically in that half hour. For us, it's going to be prayer because that's on our schedule. But we want that to translate after the program, where that's a half hour they're going to dedicate to doing something to set themselves straight with God before they go about their day. Again, devotion, reading a book, prayer, things like that. As we're sitting here in our ghetto style, I was watching we have a duct taped window here, and there were birds literally looking in at us and pecking at the duct tape. So this is humble beginnings. Steve.
Yeah, amen. This is it. Amen. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, it might have been because we were talking about prayer. Maybe that was
might supernatural. Have been. Was it a raven?
I don't know. I couldn't see because the window's dirty.
So the guys, they have prayer from 7:30 to 8, and then from 8 to 8:30, they have chores. Every guy every girl is assigned a chore during that time, and then they go into I know the first phase guys go into Ready Now Recovery, which is a group therapy, and where our third phase students go into a personal studies class. And so then after that, they'll go into a breaking free class, which is our Teen Challenge curriculum. And then they'll have chapel at 10:30, lunch at 12, and then they go back into a series of classes throughout the day. I just want you to know that
they're busy.
They're not watching the news. They're not watching movies. They're not reading the newspaper or any of those type of stuff. We don't allow them to sit around. And so we keep our schedule really tight. And so any other things that I'm missing?
Yeah, typical day. Yeah, I mean, we do, as they progress through the program, it changes. So it's flexible.
Yeah, absolutely.
It starts out real tight because it needs to be. And then as they're here longer and they go into different phases, it loosens up a little bit. Not that they have a lot of free time, but they might not have the same classes. They're going out and they're working with some of our community partners, and they get off campus a little bit more the longer that they're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So once we could trust them to do that.
Yeah. Like our guys are on a missions trip right now.
Yeah.
Some of our students.
Got guys in New York City right now.
Guys that have been here for a while and are getting close to graduation.
Yep.
And have showed that we can trust them. We sent them to New York this week on a missions trip, and we go to several other things. We have different ministries that go on during the week during Teen Challenge. So that's a good one right there. And then here's one right here. People always ask, who's overseeing the care and making sure they are safe? That's a question a mom asked me one time. Who's overseeing our loved ones and everything? And so we have quite a few staff on duty. Several interns, guys that have graduated the program and are now working with the program. We all work together during the day to make everything happen for them and keep them safe. And then another person asked, what happens when they want to leave the program early? You want to tackle that one, or you want me?
Well, I can tell you
we can tackle it together.
Yeah, and that's typically what we would do. We tackle that issue together anyway. So if somebody wants to leave the program, and listen, we're not a lockdown facility. They're not forced to be here. Even those that come in through court and through probation, they're still able to leave early. Now, the situation for them is not always good when they do so. They end up back in jail. But if, let's say, your loved one comes in, they're not court mandated, they're here voluntarily and they don't want to be here, it starts with a conversation. We want to know why. So has this been something that they've been struggling with every single day since they've been here? Or did they just have a bad day? Or did they have an argument in the dorm? Or did a staff member say something? Sometimes, when we have to call out what we see as far as behavior goes. And think about the times you've confronted the person, that in our program, do they always take it well?
Yeah, that's
Probably
good.
not. Well, they're not any different when we confront them. So it's
Yeah.
the same attitude, the same. We deal with the same thing that you do. And sometimes, well, I quit or I want to leave. Call my
Yeah.
family. I'm going home.
Yeah.
And man, I'll tell you, the best thing when we're able to say to a student, hey, we can't call your family because they've told us they don't want you home right now. They're done. They're
Yeah.
over it. They want you to get well. That really helps us. What's hard is when they can call a family member and immediately,
Yeah.
okay, we're sending someone
Yeah,
to come and get you.
You're gonna
And
come
they
rescue them
come
again.
rescue them. So we just ask for your partnership in that. Make it hard for them to
Yeah.
leave.
And on that note too, Russ, on
Mhm.
the flip side of that, for our loved ones, especially moms, it's very hard for a mother,
Yeah.
to see her son or daughter, whatever, going through something and
Yeah.
struggling and everything. And I get it.
Yeah.
My mother went through the same thing. If I could share this with you too, I remember 28 years ago when I was in the program, I called my mom and I was going to leave.
Yeah.
And my mother told me, she said, son, I've never slept this good in years.
Yeah.
She said, can you please stay there just for me?
So she can get some sleep.
Yeah, so I can keep getting some sleep. And, we laugh about it now, but at the time, I said, okay, mom, I'll stay. And I stayed. And how would I know
Yeah.
20 some years later that I would be the COO
Yeah. Right.
of this program? And so, when we quit and we stop and we don't finish what we're doing, we never know what we're quitting on in our future and what the Lord has for us.
Yeah.
So you don't want to sell yourself out on that, man. I look at so many guys, our graduates, that have come through here that have been in that same boat, wanting to leave and everything, and they didn't.
Yep.
And then you look at them and go, you look at them now and you see them with their wives and their kids and owning their own businesses. And some of them are evangelists and traveling all over the world, missionaries, and such. And then some just being good fathers, being good mothers, being good sons and daughters. Those are the things that come about it when we don't quit. Amen. That's
It
a
always
good one.
seems like there's every student in Teen Challenge comes to that moment. I call it the crossroads moment. It's the moment of decision. So when they come in here and they're happy to be here and all that, that's great. But eventually something's going to happen. It's really going to challenge how they feel about being where they're at. Whether it's all of a sudden the memories and the weight of everything catches up to them, or a phone call that doesn't go well, or a visit that doesn't go well. There's always that crossroads moment where they have to make a decision. Am I going to quit or am I going to press on? Every single student, if they get through the program without that challenge, I would worry.
Yeah,
they have to be challenged. It has to get to a point where they choose to be here regardless of what got them here. It's their choice now to stay and to do this thing. So
yeah, amen. Hey, Russ, this next question right here, this came from a mother. I'm just telling you right now. It says, how do I deal with my own feelings of guilt, anger, or betrayal while they're working through their addiction?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because see, a lot of times we forget about the people at home that are still struggling, especially for wives, as far as the men are concerned. A wife's at home and she's taking care of everything, and then the husband, it almost seems like he's at some kind of like Club Med or something.
He's at the pool.
And so
we don't have a pool.
We don't. And so I know wives struggle with that a lot. And so you shouldn't feel guilty, and you shouldn't allow them to make you feel guilty. That comes back to the manipulation from the addiction side.
Yeah, there are things we offer kind of indirectly if you're in that situation and you need to talk to someone. So you can visit readynow.org, which is our Ready Now Recovery. Those are groups that meet. A lot of them are virtual, and you can sign up to be in a concerned persons group. So you're a concerned person of someone in recovery, and you'll find a whole network of people just like you in one of those groups where you have an opportunity to talk. The other one you can Google is Finding Hope. If you're here in Southern Pines and North Carolina, those are groups that meet at churches, and they do a phenomenal job. We saw the guy speak at where were we? One of the pastors' luncheons, and that's what that group is for. It's for family members of people who are addicted, and you want to get together in person and talk and be supported. So Finding Hope, Google that one because I don't know the website. But then readynow.org is the website where you can sign up for a virtual small group. So
Yeah, and also too, man, the part of the addiction personality will be to play the guilt trip on a loved one.
yeah.
Also, to look what you did. You got me up in this teen challenge place, and I'm 50 some years old
Yeah.
or whatever. They do different things like that. Don't let them do that
That's right.
to
Look
you.
what you did. They got a
Yep,
bed. They got 3 meals a day. They got
yep,
curriculum. They're getting
exactly.
counseling. They're
Yeah,
getting life coaching. Look what you did. That's a great thing that you did. So don't let them play that.
yeah, absolutely. And I think
Yeah.
the best way to look at this, and this is the way I explain this to loved ones, Russ. I tell
Mm-hmm.
them that when by allowing your loved one to come here, you've made an investment
Yes.
in that person. And so there's no 30-day, 60-day, 90-day cure.
Mm-mm.
There's not. And people will try to tell you that, but it's not. This is a daily process that I need to learn to walk out. My habits that I formed now took a while
Mm-hmm.
to form, and I needed help to do that. And
That's
so
right. That's good.
you don't want to allow them to play the guilt trip on you. You don't need to feel guilty. Doing what's right does not always feel good. And sometimes when I'm helping loved ones, when they call me and ask me these
Yeah.
questions, I always tell them this. I say, hey, listen, um, I've never been in that position
Mm.
to have to make that decision. I can only imagine what it's like
Yeah, it's hard.
for that person. It's not easy. And so we often forget that the people at home you're struggling also too. And we just want you to know that we're here for you. We'll do
Yep.
what we can for you to help you out. Amen. This is a good one. Let's move on right here. Here's a good one. It says, will my loved one be different when they come home? And if so, how should I prepare for that? Which also leads into the next question of how do I rebuild trust after so many broken promises?
You have a lot of personal stories you share about that, like when
Yeah.
you went home and how Margie had to.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to share.
No, absolutely.
That's a perfect.
It's a slow process, and just because they graduated Adult and Teen Challenge doesn't mean that you come home. When they come home, you roll out the red carpet.
Yeah, don't.
For them. Do not do that.
Do not do that.
They have to earn your trust back, and we actually tell our students that when you go home, we want you to be humble.
Yeah.
We want you to help out. We want you to do what they tell you to do, and understand that they're still dealing with a lot of things that you put them through.
Yeah.
And so when I graduated, I remember going home to my wife, and my wife, she wouldn't allow me to shut the bathroom door to the bathroom because, in my addiction, I used to go in the bathroom and do my drug business, and so like I would have to leave the bathroom door open. So we laugh about it now, but it wasn't funny at the time. But that's something I did for her just because this is what I did to her.
Yeah. But how did you feel the first time she said, "Hey, close that door"?
Oh yeah, I was upset, Russ. And I remember going and talking to my pastor about it. And Pastor Keith Jackson, man, he told me, he said, "Hey, you did this to her.
Yeah.
Like she's acting like that because she doesn't trust you, and she has every right to feel that way."
But you built trust back, and then she told you to close the door.
I did,
and then was like, wow.
Yeah, and then eventually one day she came out. I remember it was about a year, and so imagine that right now. I'm going. It got so bad, Russ. Maybe I'm sharing too much, but I would go to other people's houses
to use the bathroom,
and I just leave the door open. I have to shut. It's like, what's wrong with this guy? But I had gotten so accustomed to doing that. And then finally one day, Margie told me to go ahead and close the door. So I knew that was awesome. The time. Hey, also too, my finances at our home. My wife didn't trust me with the finances when I first came home. And I don't blame her.
Yeah.
And so like it took 2 or 3 years before she started to trust me. So I have to build that trust. And it's important for us when your loved one comes home. That you don't roll out the red carpet for them, and you make them earn but because what they've done to you, you didn't do it to yourself.
That's correct.
And you don't allow them to make you feel guilty for it or anything. But one of the worst things you can do is roll out the red carpet. Amen.
We lost our backdrop.
Did we? That's great.
That's all right. Hey, yeah, that's that was good, Steve. Thanks for sharing that personal story there with the bathroom, because that's so true.
Yeah.
Guys go home and we prep them. I know he's trying to move on with this, but
no, you're good.
We do tell the guys, we said, listen, like your wife has learned how to successfully, in many cases, live without you being there. So she's got this. She's been holding down the fort. She's been paying the bills. She's been getting the kids to school. She's doing everything that you're supposed to be helping with because you've been here. So when you go home, you're going to have to earn it to where she starts giving those little tasks back to you.
Absolutely. That's good.
You know what I mean? You can't just go grab them. You do that, she's going to be mad.
Yeah, I'm back to save the day.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah,
she's
don't
going
do
to be
that.
back in Teen Challenge just because you're going to need our bed.
Yeah.
Right? So,
hey, you know, too, and just also, too, just a shout out to single mothers.
Yeah.
And women at home holding everything down while your loved one is here.
We see you.
Yeah, absolutely.
We know what that's like.
Yeah, we know it's tough. Yeah, amen. Hey, next question right here says, what kind of success stories have you seen and how does that give hope for my family?
Oh, man, where do you start?
Oh, man, I know we have countless numbers. You know, I'm sitting here right now, I'm thinking about Josh Gordon.
Yeah.
You know, and his family. And
hey, Josh, if you're watching, man, we still haven't received that Costa Rican coffee in the mail. Promised us.
He probably is going to watch this. I'll be able to tell whether he did or not.
Yeah, we get that coffee in the mail.
Yeah.
444 Farm Life School Road.
You know, and so we have guys that are missionaries on the missions field now in Teen Challenge. You know, and I'm also thinking about other guys like Jeremy.
Yeah.
You know, Jeremy's not in the ministry.
Yeah.
You know, guys always think when they come to Adult Teen Challenge, they got to be a preacher afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and that's really not the truth.
No, Jeremy's owns his own business.
Yeah.
You know, we got Billy and his wife serving, and they are missionaries serving over in Algeria. We got Kevin Thompson over there building churches.
Absolutely.
So there are a lot of ministry-minded people, but we have business owners. We got guys that do tile. They open electricians. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
One of the greatest things that happened.
Alec.
Sorry. Hey, Todd.
Yeah.
Todd Bear down in Raleigh. Yeah. Shout out to Cross Assembly. You know, these guys all came in broken.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm thinking about Todd and Trey.
Yeah.
You know, they were both in jail together. And Todd comes to Teen Challenge. He tells Trey when he leaves jail, he says, "Hey, man, I'm going to this program." And then Trey goes, "Well, hey, I'll take a stab at this too." Yeah. And he ends up coming in the program. And they both graduated together.
Both of them are doing great.
And both of them doing great today.
Hey, you know, that's one thing. And Todd, if you're watching, man, Todd, you have done, you've done everything, man, after Teen Challenge, I think that we've taught you to do.
Yeah,
like,
amen.
In other words, like every time I see him, he's attending Celebrate Recovery. He's in his church. He's serving. He's bringing guys to the program. Like he has stayed very connected.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. If more people did that, we'd have, you know.
Yeah. And you know, Russ, that's what makes us a healthy organization when our graduates give back.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily monetarily giving back either, even though that is good too, but also just giving back.
That's right.
And seeing graduates, when we see guys in the program and they go, "Oh, hey, so-and-so referred me here."
Yeah.
You know, that's a blessing to hear. Yeah, amen.
And that happens often.
Yeah, it happens a whole lot. We got guys here right now that are here that were referred.
That's right.
Hey,
David Burns, I think half of our women's center, some of our induction center, David, if you're watching, man, your referrals are here and they're doing great.
Yeah.
You know, and I say, man, how all these people know David Burns? That's another story. We still don't know.
Yeah.
but David, man's out there talking about Teen Challenge.
Yeah.
And that's a blessing.
Yeah, I think about guys like Dustin Daniels.
Yeah, Dustin.
Down in the Outer Banks, Matt Meekins. Man. You know, all these guys. There's so many names, man. I can't list them all. All these guys doing well, graduates.
It's encouraging.
Yeah, amen. It's a blessing. Hey, so here's another question. It says, "What can I do?" This is actually from a student. Let me go to his. How can I be sure? This is a question that parents ask a lot. How can I be sure relapse won't happen again?
I think we just touched on some of that.
Yeah, we touched on a lot of that, but part of it is your decision making, and also your daily habits. I say this to our students all the time. You can ask them; they'll quote it to you. The things you do daily will eventually show. And so I am the sum of my daily habits and the things that I do.
Yeah.
And so teaching these guys how to make better choices. See, this is a thing, we were talking about this the other day in class, and I was telling the guys that I never make a decision when I'm angry or emotional. I will always tell myself, I will tell the staff, we're going to wait till tomorrow and make this decision. Because most of the time when I got in trouble in the past is because I made an irrational decision because I was mad or angry emotional or anything. So I don't do that anymore because I've learned my lesson. That's part of being able to make good decisions. And so we want our students to be able to do the same thing. And so we talk to our guys about that. Guys will come in this program all the time and they'll be here a couple weeks and they'll say to me, hey, man, I've been here 2 or 3 weeks. Y'all ain't said anything about drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, and I'll usually tell them, you don't have a drug problem. You have a you problem. You have a relationship problem with your father.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had a moment there.
Yeah, it's good.
For
I was
a
waiting
second.
on that. It's the first time.
I made it this far without crying.
This far.
Yeah, man, but it's the truth. And so when I get my relationship back with my father right, then everything else seems to flow correctly for me. Amen.
Yeah, and maybe just to add to that last question, and I believe it's our last question.
Yep.
If we could pinpoint something that is unhealthy for a recent graduate that usually ends up causing trouble, it's social media. So if your loved one comes home and all of a sudden he's back on social media, he's on Facebook, he's on Instagram, he's doing this, he's doing that, keep in mind, before he came into the program, he had a friend list and they weren't good people. So all those people are still there on social media waiting for him. So you just want to be careful there. And that's something that when they get home, you got to monitor that.
Yeah.
And different habits. It's not saying social media is evil or bad. It's just when they came in, they didn't have the greatest social media friends anyway.
Yeah.
And they're not on social media with Teen Challenge, so they weren't making changes to that friends list. So that's a whole group just sitting there waiting for them. Hey man, where have you been? It's been 9 months. It's been a year. And those conversations happen quick and they get started. So
stay away from those old
if
friends.
You find a way to delete that friends list while he's here, go for it, man. We won't tell him you did it. So,
well, man, Russ, this didn't go too bad for our first one. Stay tuned in. We don't know how long we're gonna, what the time frame is gonna be for doing these. I would like to do a podcast every week, if possible. So, just be paying attention and looking forward to what we're gonna do. We'll be posting on social media.
Yeah, and send us
ideas. Send us your questions.
Yeah, questions, ideas. If you like to have us tackle a subject, we'd be more than happy to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, sure.
Hey, so thanks for tuning in to the Hope Connection. We believe that there's no life too broken, no situation too far gone, and no person or family too lost for God to redeem them. I'm telling you, he will do it. And if today's conversation has encouraged you, share this podcast with a friend. Share it from Facebook. We'll post it later, though, for anybody that needs to hear something today or needs hope. And so to learn more about Sandhills Adult and Teen Challenge, or to get more resources for your family, you can visit us online at sandhillstc.com or .org. Sandhillstc.org. So until next time, remember, we're putting hope within reach. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.